So, hey everyone, just gonna make a really quick video about how to tell your parents that you're self-harming, cutting, whatever you want to call it. Just how to tell them that you are self-harming. So the best thing to do when you're telling your parents is to make sure that they're in a good mood. So if they're in a really bad mood or they've had a really stressful day at work, it's not exactly the best time to tell them. So make sure that they're in a good mood, they seem quite happy and everything like that. I mean, don't worry about ruining their day by telling them. It's a lot easier if they're in a better mood than if they're in a bad mood. And then also they're not gonna listen to you properly if you tell them like that, so just make sure they're in a good mood and it's the right time of the day. And I think you might actually know when the time's right. I mean, it's kind of like an instinct. So yeah, and then also make sure it's sort of a calm, relaxed sort of vibe that you get. So if there's something going on either between you and them or your parents or something, then just make sure it's all sort of sorted out and calm by the time you want to go talk to them. And if your parents are having an argument, not exactly the best time to walk in and be like, hey guys, I cut myself sometimes. No. Okay, and then also so just make sure it's really casual when you're talking to them, and also have a conversation with them first, so be how was your day, how are you, just stuff like that, just normal conversation, and then sort of get into detail a bit more, how you've been feeling, and then you can tell them from there. That's basically the best idea, to be honest, because then you're not sort of lunging in and saying oh, by the way, I do this, and then they're all a bit what? And then, it's just a lot easier, okay? Another thing, don't freak out when you're going to tell them, so don't be oh my god, just don't start panicking and hyperventilating and stuff, especially when you're telling them. I mean, beforehand, maybe a little bit, because I was so scared, I was freaking out, but during the conversation I was pretty chilled, pretty calm, and I just said it kind of naturally. I wasn't oh my god, guess what, guess what I do. It was just sort of by the way, Mum, there's something I want to tell you, and I don't want you to get upset about it, I don't want you to get mad, I just want you to listen to what I've got to say and then process it, and then yeah, basically that's what I did. I could go into detail more about that, but for now I'll just say that, okay? And also don't say too much to them, because you don't want them to freak out and ring the doctors or drag you to the hospital or something if it's quite bad. So just say I self-harm sometimes, and if they don't understand what that is, you might have to be I cut myself, because a lot of parents are self-harm, what's that, or they might not be fully aware of what it actually is. So make sure you educate them a little bit as well. Yeah, and some people show their cuts to their parents, but I mean, I don't think it's necessary unless they ask to see them. Me personally, I did actually show my mum my cuts, but that was because I was so scared of actually saying the words that I just had to show her, and also I thought that maybe she wouldn't believe me if I didn't show her, so I just thought I'll show her and then she'll know, that's the proof right there that I've done it. But yeah, don't show them unless they ask, or if you feel it's necessary in some way, because you don't want to frighten them or freak them out, because a lot of parents do get sort of oh my god, she's done that to herself, so you don't want that, you don't want them to freak out. some parents might react really negatively and be like, you're doing it for attention, and then they might blame you for it. I'll just say that, number one, people who self-harm never do it for attention unless they are completely stupid, which most of them aren't. Probably about 99.9% of people who self-harm are not stupid or pathetic or do it for attention. They do it because of some pain that they have on the inside that is reflected on the outside. It's a release, and that's the way they cope with their pain. Number two, it does serve some purpose, and they aren't the ones to blame for it. A lot of people who do self-harm actually have a mental illness. It could be any mental illness, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be depression, it could be borderline personality disorder, it could be anything. And I just want to say that nobody is to blame for it apart from the actual illness itself or their pain. That's just the way that they cope. You know, it's not their fault, it's not the parents' fault, it's nobody's fault. So I just wanted to say that, because a lot of people think that they are to blame for it because they do it to themselves, they inflict it on themselves, but it's not true. So yeah. And then also, if they do respond negatively, be calm, try not to get angry with them, because if they get angry at you, a lot of people tend to get angry back at their parents, and then it just starts a huge argument. Just try and be calm and keep it cool and just be like, look, I'm really sorry that I do this, but I can't help it, it's not my fault, it's an impulsive thing, it's uncontrollable, you know, and it's really, really hard to not do it when I have the urges. And you know, you could even explain to them why you do it, like, you know, that it does serve some purpose, that it could be to do with something that's happened within your family, within your life, or within school. A lot of times people self-harm because they get bullied, you know, that's really sad. So you might have to explain to them that you're getting bullied if you are getting bullied, if they don't know that you're getting bullied. But that is definitely something that you need to maybe consider explaining if you are self-harming and they don't know the reason why. So you might have to prepare yourself to actually explain why, but then again you might not, so yeah. And if they are blaming you, don't let them blame you, because it's not your fault. Stand up to them, say, actually, mum, dad, whoever, it's not my fault that I do it, I can't help it, you know, it's something that's personal to me, and you know, I didn't decide to do it. Like, who would decide that, you know? Who would want that? Nobody would want that. So why am I to blame for it when I haven't decided it, you know? If I decided it, then yeah, it would be my fault. But it's not my fault because I didn't. So, you know, and if they don't understand that, that's their problem, okay? That's not your problem, that's theirs. If they've got a problem with it, then let them deal with it. Don't try and take on their problems, because that just leads to even more problems, and then you could be self-harming for ages and ages on end when actually trying to recover, but it's just really difficult. So there is a lot to take in when you want to tell them, but generally it's pretty easy to tell them, I guess. I mean, I didn't really think much of it when I told my mum. I mean, I had a lot of support around my school and stuff like that, like a lot of friends in school, and the school nurse who helped me to try and tell my mum, because I didn't want to tell her, and I had a lot of people saying, come on, you need to tell your mum, and I was like, no, I really don't want to tell her. You know, it'll just be awful. But it wasn't really that bad. I might do like my mum's reaction sort of video, but I don't know yet. I'll just have to wait and see how things go with these videos. So I think I I think I got all of it in there, but if I didn't, I'm really sorry. And yeah, I mean, feel free to leave comments down there in case I did forget something and you guys have like a few more tips that you can give to me or give to anybody else who wants to come out to their parents about it. But yeah, that's basically my little video about it, and I will be making videos soon, so please subscribe and everything, because you guys are awesome and I love you all, and I really hope that you guys are okay and that you've had a good day, and I will see you guys soon.